All right. I think we should be live here on LinkedIn. Hello, everybody. I'm Nathan Pettyjohn. I'm president of the VRARA Association. I'm joined by two brilliant minds here with John and Sean. We're going to be talking about Houston and the Industrial Immersive week that's coming up that Sean's hosting. And we also have a really exciting announcement that John's going to talk about with our Houston VRARA Association chapter. So, guys, thanks for joining me today.
Hey, thank you, Nathan. Excited to be here with y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Notice how Sean throws in a little bit of that Texas, y'all. I'm glad to be here with y'all. Yeah. Hey, Nathan and Sean, good to see you guys. Thank you for the invite, and excited to get this started.
Awesome. Well.
All right. Nathan, you're on mute.
Okay. Sorry, I'm back.
There you go.
Yeah. I want to do all that over again.
Yep. Okay. Well, hey, let's just let's dive right in. And Sean, if you want to give us a little bit of a peek at what we're going to expect at the Industrial Immersive Week next week in Houston, would love to hear that.
Sure. Excited to have everybody come over. And basically, like we like to say, Nathan, this is where digital and reality meet for energy and industrials. We're a very focused sector event, and it's an intimate event for 300 or so folks, but I think it's always exciting because it is so focused in these areas, and we're really building the 7th year to help these programs both launch. In many cases, industrials are still coming along with launching of their spatial computing and XR programs, and as well as what challenges they might face so that they're able to learn how to overcome those faster or avoid them altogether. And, we've really built out a lot of extra time this year for networking, which is, I think one of the most critical aspects of a live event. This is where a lot of people actually make the connections and be able to have a chance to talk and go through everything. So those are some of the key areas that we're expecting for next year, for next week for the event. Then when it comes to, like some of the kind of key themes or sessions and speakers that people can expect next week, we've got a lot that's going on from the energy and industrials sharing their insights and best practices. So we have the ExxonMobil digital reality ecosystem folks. We've got Schlumberger SLB, Smurf at WestRock. Fugro is going to share their AI journey, Coterra Energy, and Nuclear Regulatory Commission. So quite a few folks are going to be sharing from that angle as well. And we're going to be seeing from tech leaders, platforms, hardware, software, real world case studies, and how to. So we're seeing quite a bit that's going to be happening next week at Industrial Immersive. And it's really all about convergence. I mean, we're bridging together 4 of our communities that really intertwine to create the backbone of spatial computing, immersive tech, and AI as that's starting to come through. So it's our XR, our digital twin, our reality capture, and our AI communities all coming together for Industrial Immersive under that umbrella. So when you kind of run through it, fairly quickly there, trying to be mindful of time, it's a lot that's going on in a short 2 days next week in Houston.
Yeah. Well, I know John and I have been to your events before, and you put on just like a world-class type of event. It's done very well, and it's the type of people that you bring to that event. While some of us have been to the big CESs with 100,000 people, we won't have that here. But the quality and the focus, like anyone who's wanted to tap into that energy sector and industrial, I mean, it is the place to be. So, and the fact, as we know, Houston's the energy capital of the world. So
thank you. Yeah, which was further reaffirmed today the announcement by Apple that they're going to be doing their AI server manufacturing plant is going to be based in Houston. So that's part of their $500 billion investment projects that they're rolling out in the United States. So that's just continues to solidify Houston in many ways, that I'm sure we'll talk about. But in many ways, Houston really is kind of the industrial heartland of America.
Yep. Well, thanks for putting on the show. I want to jump to John, and John, you can talk through the really cool stuff that you're doing in Houston with the chapter there. That'd be great.
Yeah, I apologize everyone if my screen is a little jittery or audio. I'm having some networking issues today. But yeah, well, we've got some really big a big event that's happening. We've partnered this year with the Industrial Immersive Conference to add a social and business networking event on the evening of the 1st, which is March 3rd. It's going to be free to everyone. There's a nice restaurant right next to the Westin that's called the Haywire. We're going to have drinks and food. And so the way it's going to work is everyone's going to be at the conference all day. There's going to be the rodeo or the howdy reception at the conference. And at 7:00, everyone can move over to the Haywire for an evening of fun and celebration. But what we're doing there, we're also announcing the launch of the Houston chapter of the 4 new board advisors, who are Kyle Daughtry from ExxonMobil, Susan Spark from SLB Schlumberger, and Sean Guerre, who's on this call, and also Chad Modad, who is the owner of Mace VL. These 4 folks are in the community. They're at the intersection of all this technology, and they've agreed to help step up and help us steer the chapter, because this is all about building communities around XR and AI technologies, and being part of this bigger VRARA Association global community as well. So we're really excited about getting that chapter restarted, getting some leadership in there, and growing it. So I'd really like to invite everybody who's coming to the conference, and even those that are in the Houston area that might not be coming to the Industrial Immersive Conference. You can join us for the event, and the link will be put into this recording and also on our LinkedIn site, just to go in and register. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, HTC Vive, Forge FX, Mace Virtual Labs, and also my company, Virtualware. How's that?
Awesome. Beautiful, John. You sounded great.
There we go.
I'm looking forward to seeing you both there. And I think, it's important to mention too, we have been talking about industrial, but and energy. There's also, and Sean, maybe you can talk a little bit about this. There's also a really strong, like medical and research leadership ecosystem. Many people may already know this, but the Texas Medical Center in Houston is the largest medical complex globally, where they're leveraging a lot of VR and AR for medical training and surgery and patient care. Are you seeing, is there going to be kind of a medical ecosystem that's jumping into, or is it more focused on the manufacturing and the energy sector?
No, that's a really great point, Nathan. Thank you. Yeah, actually, Houston does have really 3 different industries that are quite major. So energy and industrial, that's our area that we focus on the most. But right next to that, adjacent, is bioscience and medical. Absolutely. And there's different groups such as Methodist Hospital, Memorial Hermann, a lot of teaching hospitals here, research, R&D. And it's, as you mentioned, one of the largest, and they are very active in their innovation centers using virtual reality, augmented reality, robotics, AI, as they can migrate that into their ecosystems. And we have most of those actually are attending the event because we are right here in Houston. So, and the technology providers have solutions that easily cross over or are custom made just for them. So the hardware, software, and services really do transfer over very well. And then the other group that we have a pretty good amount coming over for the event, even though we're not specific to it, is aerospace with NASA and Johnson Space Center and a lot of the privatization of commercial air, space travel. A lot of that is Houston based and in greater Houston and Texas. And so from SpaceX, et cetera. And so we have quite a few folks coming over from that sector as well. And I'd say both of those are adjacent, but they both overlap with energy industrials and make it for why I think the Houston chapter of VRAR Association can be so vibrant. If we put, get together for this initial kind of relaunch reception, I think that's going to be fantastic. But I think there's also so many different companies that are utilizing XR and technology that would benefit from participating in this on a regular basis, honestly.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and it's great that we have John here, who's kind of, he's stepping in right now as the interim chapter president in Houston. Graciously, thank you, John, because he runs the Orlando chapter, which is our top active chapter globally out of 50 that we have. And so you mentioned like aerospace, simulation. I mean, Orlando is one of those hubs, and John knows it as good as anybody. So perfect bridge for John to be helping out with this. So I'm excited.
And I think the timing of this is really good. For the past years, I mean, Sean, we met many years ago. I think one of the first events, probably 7, 8, 9 years ago. Can't remember.
The very first
when
one.
People were still, the very first one where people were still talking about what is XR, what is AR, right? And now we're at this inflection point where this conference is really going to be about talking about how are we scaling XR? What are some of the leading energy providers experiencing and industrial providers? How can end users tap into that experience and knowledge and accelerate their own initiatives? So I'm really excited about jumping in here. And I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try to share my screen here to share everyone the, let's see, the entire screen. There we go. Can you guys see that? That is our graphic of the event.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There it is. So you can go to the VRAR page. You can go to that tiny URL, VRAR Houston link, or just email me at john@the-VRARA if you want more information about this networking event. And of course, it's also going to be on the Industrial Immersive I say, the Industrial Immersive. I always get those two flipped backwards. Sorry, Sean, but it's going to be on the Industrial Immersive agenda as well. Okay.
Awesome. No, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to your talk, John, on Tuesday, and then also your panel that you mentioned. I'm also gracious, Sean, for you giving me the opportunity to be on stage Tuesday mid-morning as well, where we're talking about the convergence of XR, AI, and drones, and how those are impacting the industrial sector and actually bridging into immersive. So I know you know it well, Sean, so I might need you to help me out a little bit with some of the content, but you also run another conference, I know, that's all focused on the drone ecosystem, right?
We do, yeah. So under the Innovate Energy, we run multiple tech communities for energy and industrials, and our largest app actually is drones and robotics. So happy to jump in. I know you've got it nailed down. Both you and John have been top-rated speakers for us in the past, and we really appreciate that you're coming back to share with the community, because y'all are able to really showcase not only what's working today, but where we're headed. And I think a lot of people are looking for that kind of information. And I'm excited to have both of you all there. And especially also, John, the deep dive workshop that you're going to be doing with several of our top speakers about the intersection of XR and 5G, scaling XR in the enterprise. We've got 2 40-minute sessions that people could attend either one of those. And so that's all happening. All these sessions are happening on Tuesday, March 4th. And I think it's 2 power-packed days, but this day is certainly one of our top ones.
Yep.
All right.
Well, thank you, Sean, for bringing this community together in Houston. And I'm looking forward to all the innovation, all the great people, And I would encourage anybody who's on the fence about going to go ahead and dive in, because you know, I've seen firsthand many companies that have been there in years past that land deals, you know, like some of the solution providers that land deals with big corporations, and I see them there, and they're eager, they're hungry, they're salivating to find that next piece of innovation that they can work with. So a lot of great people at these events. So thanks,
Yep.
Sean, and appreciate you, John, as well, for all you're doing.
You got it. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you
All
all.
right.
See you in
Cheers.
Houston.
All right,
See
see
you
you
in
there.
Houston. See y'all later.
See y'all.
Cheers, Dan.